Hey, what's going on, guys? It is me, Parkzy, and welcome to week 1 of the SDL. I am pre-recording this. I've just finished my video, which should be going up around Friday, early Saturday-ish. Basically, going over the recap of the Pokemon I picked and why. But today we are going to be going over my battle with Hughesman. I've battled him already like a few days ago, but I'm going to be showing you what his team is, what my team is, and then finally the battle of the video of us battling. So my team, if you guys have forgotten, consists of Latios, Nihilego, Forges, Hippowdon, Alomomola, Primeape, Exurgatree, Scizor, Zoroark, Talonflame, and Celebi. My team is ranked as an A, and his team consists of Conkeldurr, Togekiss, Shaman, Haxorus, Mismagius, Zebstrika, Jirachi, Donphan, Vaporeon, Scolipede, and Pyroar. And his team is ranked as an A-. So I was one of the lucky members to actually be ranking the teams. Of course, didn't rank my own because that'd be kind of a douchebag move. But main reason why Hughesman lost points is because he doesn't really have that much reliable recovery. Like Togekiss has got Roost, and Alomomola can Wish Pass into everything, but his team's kind of frail. And also doesn't really have that much reliable recovery. Also, Ghost Spam is pretty real against his team except Pyroar, but he's not going to be bringing Pyroar every week. He has two very prominent members that are weak to Ghost, and nothing really can take a hit. I mean, Togekiss, especially defensive, can kind of come in, but you have to force something to be specially defensive to take a Shadow Ball, or else bring Pyroar, and Pyroar is not really that great. Offensive wise, it doesn't really fit into that many battles. I can speak from experience of playing with it in Generation 6 NU and Gen 7 PU. It's kind of a hard Pokemon to fit into teams. There's just quite a lot of fire type Pokemon that I categorize it, and actually Hughesman has decided that he is going to be trading Pyroar for Houndoom. So in the later week he will be receiving his Houndoom instead of his Pyroar, which will help with his speed tiering because he has got 2 Pokemon at base 105, 2 Pokemon at base 110, and you know his slower Pokemon, you know, there's quite a shift in speed tiering around there, so that's why he did receive an A-. But he's probably one of the strongest teams in the draft. He is new to Pokemon like me, so this was a battle of the newbies, and I can tell you guys, this was not a bad battle for the new guys. I think this is probably one of the best battles that you're ever going to see in the entirety of this league. You're probably going to see this as the best battle, or one of the best battles, if I'm being honest, because it was really good. It was a nail-biting finale. So let's go into what I decided to bring against them. So my team is here, what I decided to bring against him. So firstly, I decided to bring a Sash Zoroark because I knew he was going to be bringing a Donphan. Another thing why his team was rated downwards was because Donphan was his only hazard remover. Oh no, he had Togekiss, never mind. But he only had Donphan and Jirachi for rocks, and Jirachi was the Z captain, so he was going to have to be forced to bring Donphan with rocks every week, unless he wanted to bring a defensive Jirachi, and that didn't really make use of his Z crystals anyway, because they are titled Z abusers for a reason. So I decided to bring Zoroark because Dark Pulse 2 KO Donphan. I was going to disguise Talonflame as my initial game plan going into this, so that Donphan would simply set up rocks against me. I could flinch him with Dark Pulse, and then I could proceed to 2 KO with Dark Pulse. If it did bring Togekiss, then I was Sludge Bomb the Donphan, hopefully predicting the Togekiss to come in. I did invest 40 into my attack, as you guys can see. I only needed 216 into my speed to outspeed Adamant Jirachi, and this 40 in attack actually helps me out a lot because the combination of Dark Pulse and Sucker Punch OHKOs his Pyroar and his Zebstrika after the combination of the two, so that is also why the Sash is very useful. Zika, my Exurgatree, was my next Pokemon, and it was very obvious that I should bring this because this Pokemon is absolutely insane with the Z Crystal going against Hughesman, and Z Hypnosis and Teal Glow along with the coverage of Thunderbolt and Dazzling Gleam is absolutely insane. It destroyed his team even without any boosts. I'm pretty sure I to hit KO'd anything apart from like maybe especially defensive shaman. That still took quite a beating from Dazzling Gleam, and also was kind of set up fodder unless it was running like some really good special attack, like I don't know, like random specially defensive choice specs, like no EVs into special attack, just random choice specs. Like circuitry, the main plan was just hopefully to like maybe hypnosis like the Scolipede or something. Tailglow I probably wouldn't be using, but you know, if I did need it and the option ever arose, then it's not bad to click Tailglow after all. Like Vaporeon was set up fodder for my circuitry, so if I did get it on a switch in, as you're gonna see in my battle, I did try to play aggressively, trying to get the certain mons out that I could set up on. So that is my circuitry set. Just didn't really need to be fancy with this set. Max special attack, max speed. I could have been a bit more like careful with my speed, invest some of it into HP, but I'm not really sure that would have made much of a difference, as you're going to see in the battle. So Utah is my Hippowdon. It is Sandforce, and I did not misclick, guys. This is actually supposed to be Sandforce. My opponent even asked me afterwards why I was Sandforce, and that is because I am Focus Sash Zoroark. I do not want my Sash being broken whatsoever. This is my Jirachi switching, this is my Scolipede switching, this is my Conkeldurr switching, this is my Haxorus switching, this is my, what else do you have in your team? This is my Donphan switching, and quite a few of my responses get worn down, and this is my Pyroar switching as well. So this Pokemon has got a lot of duties to serve, and the duties it serves so well. I mean, this moveset is absolutely insane. I can deal with quite a lot of threats on this team. Of course, Stealth Rocks, because this team really does not enjoy Stealth Rocks. So you either have to bring Togekiss, which I have in Heligo, Xurkitree, and what was my other Pokemon that really threatened Togekiss? I know this. Forges kind of threatened it. Yeah, Forges was able to switch in on most of its attacks because of its insane special defense. Bulk. I do get Stab Earthquake, which ripped through the majority of his teams, even uninvested. Slag Off is very nice because I got to get the HP back. And Ice Fang, with a +2 Haxorus, it only had like a 6% chance of OHKOing me at full. So I really did not decide to bring Whirlwind, because after it takes Rocky Helmet damage, Earthquake, and like another Rocky Helmet hit, like knocks it out after like rocks. So what's the point? Next up we got Rayquaza. The Latios, we are bringing a Choice Scarf Latios with enough speed to outspeed I always get these mixed up, but I'm pretty sure Jolly, wait, we'll see what it is. Yeah, okay, so yeah, Jolly. So outspeed a Jolly Jirachi. This Pokemon, it didn't really need Dragon Stab. It was useful, but things like Togekiss made me feel like Ice Beam was better. It also hit things like Haxorus, Shaman on switching, and it was just a lot safer for calculating switch-ins. It could also hit the Donphan, and also it kind of could freeze, which was pretty nice. I don't want to aim for Haxon's Bell, of course, but it could freeze. I do have to run Scarf Default, which is pretty obnoxious, to be honest. But I am bringing a Sash Zoroark and a Talonflame, so rocks need to go off the field. Like, they have to go off the field. Like, there is no ifs, buts, or ands about it. They have to go off the field so Talonflame can get its priority Brave Bird, and so Zoroark can keep its Sash alive and be my safety net, which it will be. Poisson will be coming. It is my Alomomola. It is fully physically defensive, so I can take just basically what Hippowdon can take, but I can also take quite a few special hits. I can wish into my other Pokemon, because my Pokemon aren't necessarily frail. I mean, like, I can very easily switch between Hippowdon and Latios and Alomomola, because nothing on his team like has the coverage to defeat both physically defensive Hippowdon, Latios, and Alomomola. So I can Wish, and also I can Scald. Toxic is pretty nice because it can toxic things like the Haxorus that may set up on me. Alomomola is quite a bit of setup fodder. I do understand why, you know, it was so lowly tiered for that sole reason, but you know, it's easy to patch up, especially with an offensive team like mine. So next up we have got Talonflame. This is my Skyplate slash sharp beak variant, and this thing is going to be taking so much recoil that it's going to be worth it. Its attack allows it to just hurt so many things. I'm pretty sure it was made so it can 2-hit KO. I can't remember where it can 2-hit KO. I'm pretty sure it's so that I can 2-hit KO Zebstrika with Flare Blitz, if it ever came down to it, and the special defense investment means that I can take a Thunderbolt from Zebstrika, which is pretty nice. A Life Orb Zebstrika, not a Choice Spec Zebstrika. And my speed stat allows me to outspeed... What can it let me outspeed? I believe it can let me outspeed Scarf Togekiss, because that was actually kind of a problem for my team with Scarf Togekiss. I do have Flame Body on this. I'm not really sure if it really mattered if it was Gale Wings in the battle, but you're gonna see that it doesn't really matter anyway. No spoilers or anything, but you know, it didn't really make much of a difference. So all we need really was our stabs, our sword stance, and if we get a sword stance up, we could OHKO basically almost everything in his team except for physically defensive pivots like Vaporeon and Togekiss, which still get like 70% knocked off them. And Roost was also a nice filler move. I was gonna debate having Taunt over it, but Roost is pretty nice because I can like set up on things like the Shaman. I can like set up a Roost and then get back up to full health. So now that that is done, let's get into battle. Okay guys, so here we go. We have went into the battle with Force of Rourke, Exarchantry, Hippowdon, Latios, Alamomola, and Talonflame. Season 1 of the SDL going against Hughes Mana, and we are both noobs at this. We haven't battled before in draft style format. We've watched a lot of draft style formats. We have laddered pretty high on the ladder in Pokemon Showdown, but apart from that, we are completely new to drafting format. He does bring a team which I kind of feared, the Scolipede. This is a definite answer. I knew that Scolipede, Jirachi, Vaporeon, Donphan, and Shaman would come. Haxorus I kind of thought would come. I thought they might bring Zebstrika or something like that. Zebstrika and Zebstrika and Haxorus were like same like levels of scariness for my team, because Zebstrika with Overheat and Hidden Power Ice actually dealt with a lot of my team. But luckily he didn't bring it, so Hippowdon was pretty freed up from my team just to Earthquake spam if he wasn't into Shaman or Vaporeon. So his team was scary though, because Haxorus could annihilate my team. I just had to make the right switches, and hopefully he didn't get any Sword Stances or Dragon Dances up. Scolipede, of course, was a giant threat for my team. I really had to bring a lot of defensive pivots so that I could actually take hits from it, because Sword Stance Scolipede was a nightmare. Jirachi I did expect. Donphan I did expect to be the defensive Rapid Spinning Stealth Rocks variant. So I'm going to play this on normal speed so I can commentate, but let's go. So I start off with my Zoroark disguised as my Talonflame, as I said I would, predicting this Donphan lead. Instead he lays off with Shaman, and I'm kind of confused because, you know, he should be switching out here, and that's what was playing in my mind. I thought he was going to switch out into Vaporeon, so instantly I go for the switch into Exarchantry. As I said, I was going to play aggressively, trying to catch out Pokemon on the switches. I needed to play pretty aggressively in this game if I wanted my Exarchantry to sweep. But instead he decides to stand with Shaman and show off Hidden Power Rock. I decided that Calicut and Shaman actually can take a brief break from Talonflame if it is physically defensive. It takes like 78%, 90% or something like that. So I decided just to give it a Hypnosis and start setting up Tail Glow, as he does decide to finally switch out. I know that Hypnosis wasn't useful, but I mean, it means now I don't have to worry about Sleep Claw, so he switches out into Vaporeon, and unfortunately I do crit my Dazzling Gleam, which actually probably helps him out in the long run, because he didn't really want to be taking Dazzling Gleam damage on anything. So he goes into Donphan, and I kind of want to continue my sweep, so I go for my Hypnosis, and I unfortunately miss. I mean, I did connect my initial Hypnosis, so I can't really complain, as he does knock me out with the Earthquake. The crit did not matter, so it's now 5 versus 5. I really thought he had set up rocks on me, so I was hoping I'd get 2 chances to Hypnosis, but unfortunately I didn't. So I sent on Yuta, obviously forcing him out into a Shaman. I decided to set out rocks, knowing that he would going out into Shaman. This does force him to Rabbit Swim with his Donphan, therefore giving me a free switching into my Hippowdon and getting Chip Rocky Helmet damage off. I go into Rayquaza, predicting the Sage Flare, as I actually use Hidden Power Rock, predicting my Talonflame. So in comes Jirachi on my Latios. He doesn't know that I'm Choice Scarf as of yet, and I don't know if he is Choice Scarf, because Jirachi does get a wide coverage of move, or a wide variety of moves, so it could be like a random Z variant as well. Z Happy Hour is banned, by the way. Z Conversion, Happy Hour, and Celebrate are all banned. He does go for the Zen Headbutt. I predicted it going into my Hippowdon, so he takes more chip damage, as he does decide to go into Shaman, and this is when I decide to say he is physically defensive, but this does give me the damage for Talonflame to knock out Shaman with my Brave Bird, so I go switch out into my Latios. It is a very free switch in, I resist it. Grass Stabs. I decide to go for the Leech Seed, which was a very good play on my opponent's part, props to him. I decide to try and catch the Jirachi on the switch, this time going for Shadow Ball. Unfortunately, it does nothing, completely nothing to my opponent. My opponent decides to go for the Giga Drain, and he is just wearing down my Latios. Although Shaman isn't supposed to roll Latios, it is actually right now. So I make the aggressive play out into a Talonflame, knowing my opponent would just try and obnoxiously try and gain as much HP as possible to just tank hits. So this is when I realize I have messed with the wrong Shaman. It is defensive Cobra Berry, physically defensive Cobra Berry Shaman. Wow. And it takes 36% and knocks me out of the Hidden Power Rock, and I am speechless. Hughes. Wow, well done. That's all I can say. Well done for doing that. Kind of makes sense now, but I go into my Zoroark disguised as my Latios. He is not scarfed, and I decided to go for the Flamethrower. In hindsight, I should have went for the Dark Pulse because it had basically everything except the Scolipede. The Scolipede's not really going to switch in. It just wants to revenge kill. But anyway, he sets up a Dragon Dance in the face of my Zoroark, which was a bad choice for him because I go for my Dark Pulse and knock him out. That was max speed Haxorus, by the way, because it did outspeed my Zoroark with like 216 speed investment. So he goes into Donphan. I'm afraid of getting my Sash broken, because it will be pretty useful. I just don't want to get my Sash broken by a random Earthquake. As he does go for the Rock Polish, but this thing does not scare me with the Rock Polish. I do have Hippowdon and Alomomola as a switch in. So I go for the Toxic. Unfortunately, miss it. That would be very nice to wear that in his Donphan. And at this point, I'm wondering if his Donphan even has Stealth Rocks, because he should have Stealth Rocks to damage my team. But anyway, he goes out into Jirachi. The aggressive play out into Jirachi, may I add, but he takes the Toxic, of course, because Steel resists poison typing. And I stay on my Alomomola. I'm like, yeah, I can take any hit. I'm pretty sure I can take like an Electronium Z Thunder Punch. As he goes to the Zen Headbutt and gets the 40% hacks, and already Jirachi is just proving to be a nightmare. I absolutely hate you, Jirachi, and yet again, he gets the 40% flinch chance with Zen Headbutt. So at this point, I'm like, okay, he's obviously not going to be switching out, so I decided to go for the Protect this time, as he goes to the Zen Headbutt, yet again, trying to just flinch hack me. And this time, I know that he's not going to stay in because he's doing really bad damage, like I'm getting 12%. And he's not doing much, so I just decided to go for the Wish, just try and gain as much HP. It covers boost plays, switch out into Shaman, the hit. So this time he is forced to switch because he can't, like I'm getting my 50% of health. So knowing he's going to switch out into Shaman, I get my Toxic off. And that's actually really key, because now I get 2 turns of Toxic off from the Shaman, because I can protect this turn and force that Shaman to go for the Leech Seed. So I go for my Protect, predicting the Leech Seed of the Giga Drain, as he does go for it, and Shaman is now going to be taking another 12%. He can't switch out if he wants. He could have switched out if he wanted to, but that would bring Shaman in on 5%, and it wouldn't take any hits. So I go out into Latios, my free switch of the year, as he just decides to go for the Giga Drain, and that is not going to be enough to survive the next round of Poison. The next round of Poison would have done 18%. So Shaman does go down, and now we are only left with Scolipede, Donphan, and Jirachi. So in comes Donphan, and I know what this Pokemon is going to do. I played Donphan in RU before. It wants to knock me off. So what do? I decide to go out into Hippowdon, and I'm like, you know what? You're going to receive this knockoff. It's also doubled is a very good answer to if he wanted to rapid spin, and he decides Earthquake, and I'm like, nah man, I'm a fully physically defensive Hippowdon, I can just slack off in your face. So he just continues to Earthquake me. I decided to go into Alumamola because Hippowdon can still be useful for the Jirachi to take whatever hits he wants, because I was kind of considering around this point he might have Electroneums, a Thunder Punch. He still decides not to switch out, which is a smart play, as I just fire off a Scald, which honestly does so much as from like a base like 40 like special attack. So goes to the Earthquake again, as I just decided to knock out his Donphan, and Alumamola getting a kill. Who would have expected that? But I do Scald his Donphan out back into his Pokeball, as in comes Scolipede, and this is what everyone was telling me about. Your Alumamola is tier 4, which is good value, but it's set up fodder, so I decided to Scald, hopefully trying to burn Scolipede, as unfortunately I do not. It is now a +2 attack and +1 speed, and honestly at this point Hughes is like, yes, I've won, I've got my sweep on, and honestly I would have to do some switching around in this game if I did not have my Scarp Zoroark still in play. For some reason I decided to keep the Sash still alive, so in comes Zoroark, obviously. It's obvious that this is Zoroark because it is Hippowdon at 100%. Unfortunately, he does get the Toxic with Poison Jab. That is annoying because I might have been able to affect the differential a bit, being able to get a 3-0 instead of a 2-0. But Zoroark is going to go down to the Toxic, unfortunately. This is Scarf Jirachi, by the way. He did tell me after the game that this was Scarf Jirachi. But I decided to set him by Latios. It is just to see if his play to counter if he is Scarf Jirachi. This was supposed to counter Scarf Jirachi anyway, so I decided to go for the Shadow Ball, easy knockout, and that is a win for the Armagh Armaldos. So we did win by a differential of 2, so we are now, I believe, 3rd or 4th. Yeah, we are joint. We're joint 3rd in the draft so far, along with who am I joint with? I'm along with iRaz, and so that's going to be fun. I am going to be playing MX3 next week. The team builder will probably be going out around next week, so make sure you guys check that out. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below if you want me to do anything, like change anything up if you don't like anything. Thank you guys for watching. My throat is extremely sore, and goodbye.